How are you doing, guys? Good morning. Good to see you all. Good to see you all. Bum, 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 bum. I am live and ready to perform for all of you. So let's get some androids in the house. I got a social work appointment today. And then I got my art class at 4, which is exciting. So somebody said to me, I don't know. Controlling mother. Controlling mother. Controlling mother. Monster behind her mask. Putting on a facade. She's controlling me. Like a puppet. I don't have a mind of my own. Silencing my voice. Forcing me to pour my life down the drain. She's controlling me like a puppet. My mother's a sadistic puppet master. Sadistic puppet master. My mother's a sadistic puppet master. Come on. Let's get some people in the house. You guys are meant to be at my beck and call here. I beckon, and you guys need to arrive, you know? Bam, 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 bam. All right. So I'm using whitening toothpaste, yet I drink a lot of coffee. I don't know if you can see the results yet, but I'm trying to whiten my teeth. And how fascinating. Can you see? Are my teeth looking whiter? All right, we got 3 androids in the house. All right. Anybody got any questions for me? Let's check out what's going on in the news. So my father went to the Trump rally yesterday. I guess that's a topic to talk about. Bam, 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 bam. All right. Bam, 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 bam. Should I skip? I'll go to the art class today. I'm not really in the mood, but it's getting out, you know? It's getting out. Yeah, this is kind of a boring live stream because I don't have a lot to talk about. What's going on the news? Let's check out what's going on with TikTok. I don't know, guys. This live stream is boring. Chilling. This is just downright chilling. Where art thou, Rusty? Where art thou? At the very least, you're meant to be here. Hey, Pete, how you doing today? How you doing, Pete? Any questions for me? Yes, what's up, fellow androids? Not much. Not much is up. Yeah, we need Deborah back in the house. Deborah, I mean, for what it's worth, she said some crazy shit, some nefarious shit, but she was always at my beck and call. You got to give her that. For what it's worth, she was at my beck and call, and I like that. I like when people are at my beck and call. Bud, we got Buddy in the house. He says, "Oh, kittens meow." She said a lot of crazy shit on Twitter, or formerly Twitter, X, formerly Twitter, back in like 2012. That made her appear like she was a pedophile. And I don't, or a sexual predator. She claims it was a joke, but it was like really bad. It was like really bad. The texts. But I realized it was over 12 years ago, or about 12 years ago. But yeah, the text didn't read very well though. No, this wasn't recent. Erie did some digging into Deborah's past for whatever reason. I don't know why she was digging into Deborah's past, and discovered tweets back in like 2012 where she appeared like a pedophile. And when I read the tweets, I'm like, yeah. I mean, the tweets aren't going on nowadays, but they were pretty. They were pretty bad. So we decided to. I don't know. I mean, Deborah claimed it was a joke, and she says, "You understand that jokes." I'm like, but it didn't read like a joke. It read like you were being literal, but I I don't know, man. I don't know. I just don't want any problems. I'm not one to gossip. I'm not. I'm about forgiveness and reformation and that kind of stuff. And it was 12 years ago, but yeah. And I know Erie's a shit stirrer. She likes to go dig into people's pasts, and try to find cancel material on people. So I don't know what my story is here, but somebody says from what I've seen, they're pretty sure it was just really bad jokes. All right, fair enough. So on that note, Deborah, you're welcome back. I mean, not that you were ever really. I mean, you're welcome back. I don't even necessarily. My opinion on Deborah hasn't changed necessarily. I just, yeah. I mean, I just don't want any mentions of anybody being a sexual predator or a pedophile or anything like that. We don't that's frowned upon on my channel. We don't want sexual predators and pedophiles on my channel. So he says Puff Daddy or Diddy got arrested for being I don't know what he got arrested for, but for being a diddler. Yes, that's not good. That's not good. So Rusty, we got 1 minute left. It's about to be your favorite part of the day. So I hope. Wish you were here, Rusty. If a tree falls in the woods, does it make a sound? Here we go. Here we go. Coming to the live stream at this time, standing 6'6" tall, weighing 273 pounds, Sal Waters! Wee wee wah, wee wah, wee wee wah, wee wah. You are going down! Ah! And Rusty gave that up. Firework, man. How art thou, Rusty? He's my buddy. Rusty's like my number one buddy here. Yeah. This is the Rusty I was talking about. Rusty Trombone. Well, welcome, buddy. I mean, but we got Buddy. We got Bud in the house. Bud Planet in the sky. Bud is just trying to escape from his abusive owner. We got Xerox. Booyah! B squared. So I wonder, is Xerox my ex-girlfriend? Because it doesn't matter. We got kittens, people purring. Patrick says no, it's just a suspicion. It's just a suspicion. Well, you never know. I mean, I know I had a friend. He said if his girlfriend or ex-girlfriend started making videos, he would be watching. I mean, maybe she's at work right now. I don't know what my ex-girlfriend's doing, but I'm not talking about my recent ex-girlfriend. I'm talking about my ex-girlfriend from 2015. I don't know. I haven't talked to her in years. Booyah! Patrick says no. Catch it, check it, change it. Catch it, check it, change it. Catch it, check it, change it. Maybe I need a haircut. Do you guys think I need a haircut, or does my hair look good this length? What are your opinions on my hair? Does it need a trim, or does it look good? Patrick says, bring back the buzz cut look. Yeah, I guess I could, if you'd like. If a lot of people rally for the buzz cut look, I'm willing to do it. But it's kind of getting cold. We're headed towards October, and the buzz cut look is more of a summer look. When it gets hot. He says, grow my hair as long as I possibly can. So he says, I'm back with the orange polo shirt. Yeah. I mean, Patrick says, do what you want to do. Don't let others make determination for you. Well, I'm open to suggestions. Ultimately, I'll make the decision. Bud says he likes to chew hair. Meow. That's cool, Bud. That's cool. So he says, do the mushroom cut. Get your hair faded on the sides. If you want, TB, if you want. What if you want? Rusty says, I'm looking like a zoomie today. What is a zoomie? What is a zoomie? A zoomie is a burst of energy that dogs and cats experience when they run around in a frantic manner, often in circles. What is zoomie slang for? A sudden burst of hyperactivity by a dog, cat, or animal, such as running back and forth in a circle. Yeah. When dogs get really excited. Erie, how you doing, Erie? Good to see you. How are you, my androids, or cellmates, as they say? I have cut back on the caffeine, actually, Patrick. I'm not sure if you could notice, but I didn't take the caffeine pill this morning, and I only had 1 cup of coffee, and I'm having a 2nd cup of coffee now. So I'm going through a little bit of withdrawal. I did have some caffeine today, but I actually did cut back on the caffeine. I mean, I should get a pat on the back for that. Somebody should give me a gold star and a pat on the back. Yeah. Oh yeah. Bud says this guy was talking about bringing somebody back to the community who was called out by you, Erie. Yeah, Deborah. We banned Deborah because of Erie discovering tweets from 12 years ago. Which made Deborah look a little bit nefarious. So we're like, you know what? We don't want any problems in the community. Erie says she saw a lot of red flags in Deborah's tweets from 12 years ago, and they were pretty bad. They were pretty bad. When she actually said to me though that they were jokes. However, they didn't read like jokes. It was a lot of stuff that made Deborah appear like a pedophile. And on that note, I'm like, yeah, we have to give her the old quick release. I mean, she claimed that she was joking, but yeah, it really made her appear like a sicko. You know what I mean? It made her appear like a sicko. So I mean, I don't like to gossip about people, but we don't want any problems here. This is a fun community. This is a feel good community. Pedophilia, sexual predators, and all that stuff. That's what it ain't, man. We don't want sexual predators and pedophiles in the live stream. I believe in reformation, and the tweets were from 12 years ago. So I'm willing to give Deborah a second chance. I mean, she was always at my beck and call. She always had good intentions and stuff. But man, the tweets are pretty bad. We fist bump to Dave, fist bump to Rusty. Somebody says if it was just the tweets, that would be at one thing, but she crosses the boundaries in real life too. Somebody says once a sicko, always a sicko. I believe people can reform their ways and change their way. Well, actually, they say when it comes to pedophilia, uh, I mean, assuming the tweets weren't jokes. I mean, I don't have any. I don't have anything here. You know what I mean? Like, I don't really know. They were just tweets that looked really bad. But obviously, they say with pedophilia, there's like recidivism. I don't know, man. I don't fucking know. I'm not an expert on pedophilia, but yeah, we don't want that shit going on. This is a fun community. It's comedy a lot of the time. I mean, and mental health dialogue. We don't want fucking like to make this like a pedophilia. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, just get rid of that stuff. You know what I mean? Somebody says, it's a shame we can't consult Dr. Garrett about this. He would know what to do. He was like a silent android. I think we all miss Dr. Garrett. I mean, I got my new social worker today. However, Dr. Garrett was a legend in the Cell Waters community or the Andrew Kolofsky community. So he was like our surrogate father figure. Yes, he was. TV. I mean, people make weird jokes all the time. I don't know. I mean, Deborah. I don't fucking know what to do about this. But I guess we'll see. It seems like Deborah, has hit the road and doesn't even desire to be on this channel anymore. So if she returns, I guess we'll play it by ear at that point. But as of this moment, she's hit the old dusty trails and has waited till this cools down. What have I been up to? Yesterday I got breakfast with a guy from NAMI. I've been going to the gym. I got the art class. Been chatting with some friends. To answer your question, what have I been up to? Not a whole lot. Not a whole lot. Erie says the vibrations are better now that Deborah is gone. And Erie does a heart. Yeah, fair enough. How are things with Christine? They were bad. Yes, 2 days ago. Yesterday they were good. So 2 days ago, I was fighting with my mother. Yesterday I had a good day with my mother. It's up and down. It's like a roller coaster. The day I was supposed to cook burgers on the George Foreman, I actually, my mother actually cooked dinner that day, so I never wound up cooking them. No. I'm gonna get some tea. I know. Patrick was trying to say to me, "Stop, cut the caffeine," but I'm getting kind of tired. I want some caffeine, you know. Um, should I make myself some oolong tea here? Somebody says they want an Andrew Koloski cooking stream so bad. All right, yeah, fair enough. I mean, I'm sure there's going to be a night where my mother doesn't cook, and we can very much have me cooking on the George Foreman. That might be fun. It might be a fun stream. All right, let me heat up some. Let me heat up some water for some oolong tea here. Okay. Get a cup of some oolong tea here. Did I buy any meats? No, I actually never went over to the supermarket because as I was leaving, my mother was like, "Hey, do you want dinner?" I'm like, "Yeah," and I never wound up buying the burgers. So. You can't have any pudding if you don't eat your meat, to quote Pink Floyd. You gotta eat your meat to have your pudding. Avery asks, did you put a plastic cup in the microwave? I think the cup is microwavable, but yeah, to answer your question, yes. It says the cup is microwavable. Yeah, maybe I should get a better cup. Erie's got a legitimate point here. Let me call my mother and ask. Yeah, that's a good point, Erie. We don't want the plastic to outgas and give you cancer. That's a good point, Erie. We don't want Andrew to get cancer, because cancer is what it ain't. A ceramic cup would be better. Oh, she's not answering. I don't know if she's mad at me or what the story is. I sent a lot of crazy texts, so maybe she's mad at me. I don't know. Yeah, I'll get a ceramic cup today. I also want to ask her to make me chicken nuggets. So when did I send the text? I sent the text this morning. So hey, Mama, how you doing? Do you have a ceramic cup, like a glass cup that I could heat my coffee in for the oolong tea? Because I've been heating it in a plastic cup, and people are warning me that could outgas. And yeah. I've been putting it in a plastic cup. Are you home or you not? You don't have to give it to me right this second. You're not home at the moment. But where are you? Okay, yeah. I got the social worker today. So that didn't give me money, so yeah. Oh, later tonight. I mean, later tonight, not today. Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right, let's not talk about it right now because I'm live. I don't want to go into. I mean, I know you did a lot of thinking. You want me to take more medication and blah 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 blah. Oh, you don't care? I mean, I'm not going to stop my medication while I'm living here because, I mean, I'm sure you'll have a problem with it. But you think I'm going to wind? You think if I stop my medication, I wind up in the psychiatric? Okay, can you make? Okay. Okay. Can you make some chicken nuggets when you get home too? Yeah, I think it was described by Dr. Kaplan as hostile dependency, where it's kind of like when somebody's controlling and caretaking you, you blame the caretaker. I mean, ultimately you have to be in control of your life. You know what I mean? I mean, what what do you mean? What do you mean? I project onto other people my frustration and anger. You mean like like give me an example of that like when I say please don't interrupt like for example I'm not playing a game here. I'm not playing a game. I'm not playing a game here. But uh, yeah, man. I don't know. She's going off today. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what the problem is. Is was that a yes to the chicken nuggets? Well, she's not home at the moment, so yeah, we're like two rams butting heads, as TB says. We just fight. That's all we do. That's all me and my mother do. We just fucking fight. To be honest with you, I don't want to take the medication. She says you don't have you have a choice. You don't have to take the medication. But watch, if I didn't take the medication, it would quickly. She's forcing me to take it. So I mean, that's just basically what's happening. But I don't want to take it. But like, let's put it this way: I'm being forced to take it here. Yeah, somebody says you sent her a shitty text this morning. That is true. That is true. Where I said, I'll read to you the shitty text I sent her this morning, which got her in a bad mood. It doesn't matter. Yeah, somebody says you could always move out on your own and provide your own housing, food, and make your own money. Yeah, that's ultimately what you should be doing at 37 years old. Somebody says the social worker can help me find low income housing. So he says, imagine I get shitty texts from my mother all the time. I just don't read them. My mother always sends me shitty texts. She always tells me what a fucking loser and a burden I am. I just don't read them. But yeah, no, my mother is always sending me shitty text messages. So obviously, I'm codependent with my mother, and we always fight. Yeah, she doesn't literally call me a loser, but she says, you're nasty, and you got to live with your father," and just a barrage of negativity. I mean, she might as well call me a fucking loser. I don't know if she's literally called me a loser. Actually, maybe she did. She says, "Fuck you, you suck." Like she just tells me what a fucking loser I am, basically. What a burden I am, how she's burned out and fatigued by me. It's basically what she does over and over again. And it's obvious. So he says she is a very powerful woman. I'm usually passive and don't react to her barrage of negativity. I usually don't say a word to her. I just let her just rant and rave at me and tell me what a loser I am, basically. I let her control me, and it's just time to set boundaries and to get the fuck out of here. It's time to get the fuck out of this house. You know, this relationship with my mother has run its course. It's no longer serving me. I'm not saying I'm going to cut her out of my life entirely, but it's time for me to get independent. Erie says she empathizes with Christine. Somebody says, Andrew, in the meantime, your parents provide you with high standards of life with no expectations besides some compliance. It can really be far worse. Yes, you could be homeless. You could be in the psychiatric hospital. Um, you know, somebody says, I fail to believe your mother is just coming at you unprovoked. The improv is starting this Sunday. I'm going to an improv class this Sunday. Where can you buy a ceramic mug? Where can you buy a ceramic mug? Maybe I'll just get pizza. Maybe I'll just grab pizza for lunch, man. I don't know. Just avoid my mother as much as possible. He says you can buy a ceramic mug almost everywhere. Like 4 or 5 stores have them. Cool. My mother needs to chill the fuck out. She says I'm projecting. What am I projecting onto her? What the fuck is she talking about? Projecting. What the fuck am I projecting onto her? I mean, if you say I'm projecting my frustrations that she's a sadist and maybe I'm projecting onto her that she gets pleasure from my suffering. What the fuck am I projecting onto her? Yeah, I was terrified of my mother when I was young. I was terrified of my mother and stepfather when I was young. She says I'm projecting, but what am I projecting onto her? Somebody says, Drew, you are literally an IMAX sometimes. What is an IMAX? What is an IMAX? Is a film format in movie theater that uses large screens. Somebody says, like a theater project, he means. You're like a movie that's entertaining. All right, fair enough. Thank you. I appreciate that. Make a movie about my life. My mother says she gets afraid of me sometimes. However, she's projecting that onto me. You know, I'm not. I don't make threats. I'm not a danger to myself. I'm not a danger to her or anybody for that matter. She's projecting that onto me. You know, I mean, she's like, I'm afraid of you. I'm like, yeah, but I'm not dangerous. So she's projecting that onto me. I'm not making threats. I'm not a danger to her or anybody, including myself. So, you know, that was part of the reason she was threatening me with the hospital. I said to her, tell me the truth. Yes, I was yelling, but, you know, realistically, I wasn't a danger. She yells at me all the time, you know? It's okay for her to yell, but not me to yell. She's like, I felt threatened. I didn't threaten you. I didn't fucking threaten you. You say I threatened you, but I didn't. I did not. In fact, I go out of my way to make sure I don't threaten you because I know what the consequence will be, a hospitalization. Somebody says, a clever idea, Andrew. Take full advantage of the fact that your parents provide you of housing and necessities. Get a job, save all that money with no bills. Somebody says, if you, no, I wasn't screaming at my mother to the point I lost my voice. I was screaming mostly in private. But, Erie says, that is threatening and violent behavior. Most of it I was doing in my car when I was alone, isolated from everybody. And I didn't even scream at my mother. I just screamed down the block once. I said, "Tell me the truth!" And I didn't even scream at my mother. So I wasn't threatening my mother or violent towards her. Somebody says, Andrew, give this up. You've been really obsessed for weeks now. I think you need more medication, more Abilify. Yeah, I screamed that in the yeah. That was part of the reason she wanted to put me in the hospital, because I screamed "Tell me the truth" 2 or 3 days ago in the middle of the street. Somebody asks, "Didn't you break her finger?" Accidentally. Well, I guess accidentally. It wasn't intentional, but in 2011, and I was put in the hospital for a month because of it. Yes. It was one isolated incident. It hasn't happened before. It hasn't happened since, and it won't happen again. I learned my lesson. And I was completely delusional for it. I learned if you get violent, you go to jail or the hospital. And I will never do it again. And I haven't even shown signs of ever going to be doing that again. So obviously it's 13 years ago, but yeah, 20. Well, I was experimenting with medication for social anxiety prior, but I started going on the antipsychotics like Risperdal and Invega in 2011. Yes. I'm not saying get over it. I'm not saying get over it. In fact, she can still be be traumatized from but in a way, I'm saying it's 13 years ago, and get over it. You know what I mean? I mean, in that, I mean, I do have sympathy. I realize I made a bad decision. I realize it was bad, obviously. Um, but also, she's got to learn to get over it, or kick me out of the house. One of the two. Erie laughed at. I'm not saying to get over it, but I'm saying get over it. Yeah. I mean, it's true though. I mean, like, is she gonna have me in like this fucking? I mean, just basically get independent from my mother, you know. And I realized I was completely in the wrong. I realized you can't be violent, and that stuff is bad, obviously. But ultimately, it hasn't happened before. It hasn't happened since. I was in full blown psychosis, and I've made a lot of progress in my mental health recovery. I realize why she's afraid I might do that again, but ultimately, you know, I don't know, man. maybe I what progress have I made? I made a lot of progress with Dr. Garrett. Basically in 2011, when that happened, I was just I was like somebody without an interpreter. I was just screaming and shouting how my mother was running a pedophile ring, how my grandfather was raping me, and I was, she was like, what the hell are you talking about?" And it was just basically, I was running all day long. It was just Dr. Garrett helped me see that I was really sexually frustrated. I was, a virgin at that time, and I was projecting my frustrations onto my mother, onto my grandfather. My chains were internal, not maternal. I was really sick. I didn't know how to meet a woman. I didn't know how to go about getting intimacy. My mother did not have me in a metaphorical chastity belt. Obviously, there's no corroborated evidence, and I don't have any memory besides like vague, memories, which are delusions of getting raped by my grandfather. So, I mean, it was delusional. It was basically delusional, and that was the story. I've made a lot of progress. Dr. Garrett helped me see I was not the victim of a pedophile ring. He helped me see that I was not getting raped by my family. Um, Nobody had, but they do confirm and corroborate that I was severely bullied in middle and high school, and that really affected my social development. It led to me isolating. I mean, that's confirmed, corroborated. I got a clear memory of that. I'm able to describe that in great detail. That's a fact. And when I mention like getting raped by my grandfather or father, for example, it's just like, and then I remember them telling me to put it behind me, and they were like mixing Jack and Coke, or was it liquor and Sprite? Like there's just so many holes in the fucking story that it's just clearly a delusion. So I've made progress, and I don't get delusions like that anymore. Some people say, well, you do. The delusions have shifted. It's now the HIV scare and pharmacological abuse, and your mother. That's the new delusion. That's the new, pedophile ring delusion. HIV scare and pharmacological abuse. You know, it's basically that's the new fantasy that. Somebody asks, how did I put the end how did I put to bed? Dr. Garrett helped me put to bed the pedophile ring delusion for good. Dr. Garrett helped me see I was not the victim of a pedophile ring. He helped me see I was not raped by my father or grandfather. And he helped me see I was bullied in middle and high school severely. Um, he helped me see that it was delusions, basically. So he says there are a lot of people with your diagnosis who have happy and productive lives, but they might require more medication. So he says, can you think of applying that thinking to other delusions? Obviously putting to bed. Maybe I could try to put to bed the HIV scare once and for all, the pharmacological abuse once and for all. Tell myself my mother, my stepfather, my friends, my family, they all had good intentions. It was my choice and my choice only. Um, the pharmacological abuse was I over medicated without a doubt, but they all had good intentions. Nobody was trying to do anything nefarious to me. So maybe try to put to bed these persecutory delusions too. You know what I mean? Somebody says you definitely need a different medication, Andrew. The Abilify 10 milligrams isn't holding you. Fair enough. So says he really doesn't have the motivation to change meds. Maybe if he had to pay rent or work a job, things would be different. Somebody asks you, why do I dislike trying different meds? Well, the adverse side effects, for one. I mean, there's a lot of adverse side effects to being on these medications, like sexual dysfunction, weight gain, difficulty swallowing. I mean, there's a lot of adverse side effects. Fatigue, being tired all the time, brain fog, you can't recall and think of things. I mean, there's a lot of adverse side effects to the antipsychotics and mood stabilizers. I mean, it just goes without saying. Somebody says, do you ever consult with Dr. Garrett to see what you could do? To be honest, I can't see you living alone, but you could get a girlfriend and some kind of job, maybe. Yeah, I mean, that's a good idea. It'd be good to get financially independent. It'd be good to get a girlfriend. What is the meat stream? What is that? What is the meat stream, Rusty? What does that mean? What? What does that mean? Do I remember what is? Let's Google that. Oh, when I choked on the meat, when I had the meat caught in my esophagus. That's also an EOE issue, an esophageal esophagitis. Some of it is the medication, which can cause esophagus dysphagia, but I also am diagnosed as having EOE, esophageal esophagitis, which is unrelated. Well, maybe it is related to the psychiatric medications, but it's unrelated to the psychiatric medications. Yeah, I choke all the time, to be honest with you. It's not actually choking. Well, I guess it is choking. Food gets caught in my esophagus. It's not caught in the trachea, but I guess it is choking. It's bad. It's fucking bad. EOE. Let's Google that for a moment. Yeah, man. Why does it keep switching me to fucking Yahoo? I want to search Google. Fuck Yahoo. I don't know why it keeps suggesting I go to fucking Yahoo. Okay, search engine. Search engine, a default browser. Chrome is my default browser. Search engine. Oh yeah. I don't want Yahoo I want Google to be my default search. Yeah, good. EOE. Fuck it keeps making me search Yahoo. This is bullshit. Okay. EOE. Esophageal esophagitis, an inflammation of the esophagus caused by white blood cells in the esophagus. Somebody says, Andrew, honest question here. You believed when you were going to be having the date that you mastered your mental health. Do you honestly believe that? I honestly don't think you do. I think I've mastered my health my mental health to a significant degree, but I haven't cured myself completely. I've made tremendous strides and gains since I was in 2011. I don't know if I necessarily mastered my mental health, but I think I have mastered it in a lot of ways. So I've made a lot of progress. Maybe progress was the right word to use there. You know what I mean? Not 100% cured, but maybe like 80% cured, 90% cured. Somebody says mastered means you're in control of your delusions and tsunamis, which I have too frequently to say I've mastered it. Yeah, I guess you're right. I guess you're right. Maybe mastered was too strong of a word. Maybe I've made a lot of progress with my mental health condition. Erie says you have your schizoaffective disorder under control, you said, which is questionable. You do not have it under control. All right, all right. I mean, you don't have to nitpick the words and dissect it like your lawyers. You got the idea of what I was saying. What I was saying was I've made a lot of progress. I've made a lot of strides. I've made a lot of gains in my recovery. Maybe I'm not cured. Maybe I don't have it completely under control, but I have it under control to an extent. What is the next step? I think trying to put this HIV scare and pharmacological abuse behind me once and for all, and realizing it was my choice. Nobody had nefarious intentions with the medications. My mother, stepfather, father. I think the next step is to let go of that once and for all, and realize it's a lot like the pedophile ring from 2011. It's just a delusion. Everybody's telling me it's a delusion. Let it go. Just let it the fuck go. And somebody says Abilify 15 milligrams might be a good next step too. More medication. Fair enough. Oh man, Clozaril is more hardcore. It requires weekly blood tests. I don't want to go into the Clozaril unless I have to, Rusty. I know Dr. Copland's been pushing for Clozaril for months, years, maybe years now, but I don't really want to take that unless I have to. You know what I mean? So let's try to not take the Clozaril unless it's completely necessary. Maybe up the Abilify to 15. Rusty says, I get you, but have you tried to take care of yourself? Somebody says, does Dr. Copland blame Dr. Garrett for making me think I can do it without medication? I don't know. I don't know what goes on behind the scenes with the doctors and so on. But even towards the end, Dr. Garrett was, saying how I need medication. So the doctor who believes in recovery from schizophrenia without the use of medication and is into natural, when he's saying, yeah, you need medication, you probably need some medication. You know what I mean? Dr. Garrett does not. Well, so he says Dr. Garrett supports medication. Actually, I don't think that's really true. I think he says on the record he supports medication, but he believes recovery from schizophrenia without medication is possible in some cases, and he's very much into attempting that. But obviously, he's also professional, and he doesn't want to get sued by getting schizophrenics to come off their medication. So, yeah, I think if he started saying, yeah, let's get all the schizophrenics off their medication, he would get fucking sued. But he's very much into recovery from schizophrenia without the use of psychiatric medication. Let's just call it a spade here. So he says, haha, that would be pretty wild. Let's get all the schizophrenics off their medication. It would be like that John Lennon song. What John Lennon song are you referring to? Imagine all the schizos living without their meds. Ooh, 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 you may say I'm a dreamer. Yeah, I mean, he says pro pharmacy for some patients, but that's like on the record. If he said, I think down deep, he really is. I don't know. I can't speak for Dr. Garrett. Let him speak for himself. So he said pro pharmacy publicly. So that's that. But he shared with me a documentary, Recovery from Schizophrenia Without the Use of Psychiatric Medications, which features Joanne Greenberg. It's like a Diane Mackler like documentary. So initially, at some point, he was trying to get me to reduce the medications, but maybe not, or trying to help me recover without the use of medications. But in time, he started pushing for medications. So, you know. It's interesting. It's interesting. I mean, obviously, there's no silver bullet. There's no clear cut approach. Some people believe you can cure it with cognitive behavioral therapy, or maybe some very small dose of medication in cognitive behavioral therapy. I mean, and like Dr. Copland, the psychopharmacologist, believes medication is the answer. It's genetic, and there's something wrong with his brain, and you just need to be medicated. I mean, I personally feel Dr. Garrett's approach is more empathetic. I feel it's more you listen to the person, you try to help them master their schizophrenia, and you try to help them recover without the use of psychiatric medications. I think there's a happy medium there. You don't have to be medicated to the point where you're like chemically lobotomized, but also I also think medication in some cases it might be necessary. Somebody says, do I think like Dr. Garrett and Dr. Copland were like two rams butting heads behind the scenes? I don't know. If they were, I mean, they have mutual respect for one another, and they both think they're like, they both think each other is the best in the business. Like I know, like I accidentally called Dr. Copland, who apparently is really, he's got a psychiatry degree, he's got a pharmacological degree, he's regarded as a top doctor. And I called him Dr. Garrett accidentally, and he said, "You know what? I'll respond to that. I have respect for Dr. Garrett." So I mean, he respects Dr. Garrett. He will respond to accidentally getting called Dr. Garrett. So he respects him in the psychiatry world. So that's a good thing. It's not like I called him Dr. Nick from The Simpsons. I'm like, "Oh, hi, Dr. Nick." He respects Dr. Garrett and respects what he does, but he doesn't always agree with him. So he says, who do you think would win in a cage match? Dr. Garrett or Dr. Copland? I think Dr. Garrett would probably win. Dr. Copland is I mean, Dr. Garrett is in his 70s, but he rides his bike for miles still, and he's physically fit. Dr. Copland's got a fucking bad back. He can't even move. I mean, Dr. Copland is younger. Dr. Copland is, but Dr. Copland is physically injured. Dr. Garrett still rides his bike, and he's taller. Dr. Garrett's got the height and weight advantage. I would say Dr. Garrett would probably win because Dr. Copland's kind of like a cripple. I think he hurt himself in a skiing accident or something like that. Yeah, he's pretty injured, Dr. Copland. So yes, what finisher would Dr. Copland use? I don't really know. Maybe the claw. Maybe he would go with the claw. He would get the claw on Dr. Copland, and Copland would go down. I'm not really sure. But like we said, obviously I made a lot of progress with Dr. Garrett. I learned a lot about myself, and I think for a while it was a really good thing. I started off really optimistic, and we started making a lot of progress together. I think I know correlation and causation, but when we switched from the SUNY downstate sessions to Zoom sessions through the internet, I think that's when the decline started. And towards the end, it was just the same thing every week where I was saying, "Confess the truth. They pharmacologically abused me. The HIV scare was premeditated." And I think Dr. Garrett finally had enough. And I think I needed a fresh perspective. But I made a lot of progress with him. It's too bad it ended on a sour note, though. Somebody says Dr. Copland would use the Avalanche Brainbuster. Maybe. Somebody says I think Dr. Copland's more of a spear and jackhammer kind of guy. He's like Bill Goldberg. Maybe. All right, guys. On that note, I'm going to get going. I've done over an hour. Adios, amigos and amigas. Peace out. Somebody says, maybe Dr. Copland would be like Dr. Mario, throwing massive amounts of pills. Fair enough. Dr. Mario, good call, TV. Peace out. Bye-bye. Adios. I'll be back later, guys. So he says, do a long one this time. All right. I mean, I got to check out what my wash is doing. And I got to, somebody wants me to keep going. All right. I got to go to the bathroom. So that's part of the reason I'm going here. I'll be right back. Intermission. Okay, so my wash is done. Does anybody want to see me put my wash away? Does anybody want to see me put my wash away? I mean, I know some people like that bit. Hell yeah. All right, here we go. Okay, so I'll explain to you me putting my wash away here. First, I gotta wash my hands because you need clean hands to put your wash away. Okay. First, this is my hand towel. This is the towel I usually dry my hands with in the bathroom. This is obviously a hand towel here. So I'll fold this and I'll hang it up. This right here is my gym shirt, which I'm going to hang in my closet. Well, I'm going to hang in my closet over here. Don't fret, guys. I know I'm out of focus and you're all nervous, but I'm just hanging up my gym shirt. I'm just hanging up my gym shirt. And a lot of people noticed about the gym shirt that it's very similar to the Otto Greenberg shirt from the Green Bunny cartoon. And the Otto Greenberg character is loosely based on me. So somebody's like, you're wearing the Otto Greenberg shirt, and the character's loosely based on you. Okay, now we got to fold this towel. So are you saying you are Otto Greenberg? Well, we did an artwork with me pointing at Green Bunny pointing at Otto Greenberg, and so we got this towel. This is my bath towel. I'm gonna put this in the closet here. Okay, my towel is put away. Okay, let's check out what the comments say. The French mime shirt goes hard, he says. Okay, these are my gym pants. I'm going to put them in my bin, because that's where my gym pants go, in the bin. And this is the shirt I was wearing yesterday, the Where's Waldo shirt. That's nice and washed. I'm going to put that in my closet. I'm going to put away the Where's Waldo shirt. I'm going to hang it up. Okay. It's officially hung up now. I got my cargo pants. I'm going to put away my cargo pants here. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, I'm going to find the right place in the drawer for the cargo pants. And last but not least, and this is really important, the socks and underwear. Well, my underwear can touch the ground, because if my underwear touches the ground, I have to rewash it. So it looks like it won't. Yes, I got it in my hands. Unless I accidentally drop it, which I won't, I got to rewash the underwear. The underwear is obviously one of the most important parts of the live stream. Okay, the underwear is put away. The socks are put away. Okay, now time to clean the lint filter. That's obviously very important. Clean the lint out of the lint filter. And that's nice and clean now. Put the lint in the toilet and flush it down the toilet. Okay. That's what I did. Bam. Oh, and put away my... I was told to get these by Rusty, actually. These knee braces for my knees at the gym. And this is a waist trimmer. I put it around my waist to flatten my belly. So knee braces, and I put that through the wash, too. Bam. And okay, I'm back. Anybody want to see the progress the waist trimmer is doing on my belly? Tell me if my belly is flat. You there, guys? Anybody? I'll show you how. So somebody says. Anybody want to see? Anybody want to see the progress the waist trimmer is doing on my belly? You want me to take my shirt off and show you? I guess so. Let's see it. Okay. So bear in mind, I had 2 bananas and quite a bit of fruit. So this, I'm trying to thin my stomach here. This is how it looks, right now. I put the waist trimmer around my stomach, trying to flatten my belly. Looking lean, they say. Thank you. That's what I'm trying to do. So just work up and try to get that 6-pack. Oh, let's call my mother back here. Let's give this a shot. Okay, let's give my mother a call. I called her 46 minutes ago. I can't believe that's a long time ago. I would have figured it would have been. Let's see if she answers. No, she didn't answer.
Your call has been forwarded to voicemail.
So people want me to continue here. Does anybody have any last questions here or anything to say? I'm going to wrap up this live stream if nobody has anything else to say here. We got 7 people, but nobody seems to be talking. A song to finish. Somebody asks, who is the new person I see? Well, I see a social worker. She lives she not lives, but she practices locally. I don't know where she lives, to be honest. It's a fresh start, you know. It's a new beginning. Keep on rocking in the free world, they say. Yes, man. Adios, amigos and amigas. Peace out.